Okay, so I've worked at getting my mouth looking good, and now you want to finish up your project. So you do want to consider, is my surface how I want it? Is it clean? Does it look good? This is your last chance to do any fixing. Once you're kind of done with this, we're going to let it dry just a little bit to a leather hard stage. And during that leather hard stage, it can be tricky to add new things to it. Leather hard is good for carving and smoothing out any imperfections. But as it dries out, it's going to become more and more difficult to make any major shifts, like if you wanted to change the way the jaw is shaped. Now is your time when it's plastic to make any of those major form changes. Chances are that you're pretty good where you are. So now it's just a matter of cleaning up your surfaces. So some really good tips and tricks to wet your sponge and keep your sponge right at your table, damp your fingers, and go ahead and smooth out the surface. Just that little bit of water does help kind of give it a little bit nicer, smoother texture. It also helps kind of smooth out those imperfections. So using a sponge with a little bit of water and your finger. Another one is to use your little plastic card. And if you don't have any texture on there, to go ahead and just use this to kind of soften and smooth. In the ceramics world, we call this a rib, R-I-B, like the rib protecting your lungs. And feel free to cut this to any shape. Like I would get rid of this corner because I don't want to make any scratches. So this is a really great tool to get just a nice, smooth, even surface. But if you have texture there, like I have some texture up here, if you find that there's like these little texture goobers or extra chunks of clay that you don't want, actually don't worry about cleaning all of those up. You could do one of two things. You can either take a piece of plastic and put it over there and run your finger to soften and smooth. So just that piece of plastic just helps squish that clay down, and the slight pressure from your finger helps smooth it out. It's a lot quicker than doing it all by hand, and you get just a nice quality. Or you can, if you have a lot of those little crumbs, wait till it's a little drier and those crumbs will just brush off. Okay, so you want to just take a very careful look at your whole entire sculpture. Are there any cracks or blemishes that you can smooth away? Are there any imperfections that you want to correct? Because once it dries, there's no fixing it. Okay, it is what it is. So consider this time your cleanup time and make sure you have a product that you're happy with.